All right, guys, let's go off whim. Just go. Just go. Just go. We don't need no fucking teleprompter, motherfucker. God bless freedom of speech, baby. God bless it. Again, there is consequences. Not everybody's gonna like you, but you could not even say shit and people aren't gonna like you, right? So we're animals, man. We're sophisticated animals. Some say we're built in the image of God. Some say we just have an idea of consciousness. I don't know. So I listened to Kendrick Lamar's album. I'm gonna just, again, it's more I think more genuine if I just let whatever stuck to me stand out. Like when I'm reading a book and I feel like I have to highlight everything, I'm like, whatever's supposed to stand out to me, I'm gonna remember. And I'm gonna remember tomorrow, later on, when I discuss. And so let's just really just get it over with. Then so his album, I like the funky creativeness. I think it was called Whacked Out Murals. Squabble Up, I didn't really like it. But Whacked Out Murals, I like the funkiness. It was pretty funky. I liked it. I like the funkiness. I can see what he's doing throughout the album too. He's trying to go back to old school, kind of West Coast style beats. That was cool. Whacked Out Mural, I liked it. That was pretty good. I like the funkiness of it. As we know, Kendrick Lamar, he's kind of like a playful guy like that. Ever since swimming pools, just I am a sinner. Just like he always messed with his voice a little bit, which I think was smart to do because he doesn't have that deep voice. He doesn't have that Tupac voice. He doesn't have that voice. He doesn't have that voice. And so he's pretty playful, and he'll do like 3-4 different kind of tones within one verse. I mean, look at Goosebumps. I get these goosebumps every time you come around me. You ease my mind. You make everything feel fine. I want to press that like, yeah. I want to press that. I want to. Mama dear, son, and feelings, individuals. I buy the building, fucking bitches, bunch. Put the pussy on a pedestal. Put the pussy on a high horse. That pussy to die. That pussy to die. Peter Piper picked the pick. You know what I mean? So, the only time he's ever really went like when Drake and A$AP Rocky, that was one where he kind of just did his thing. Kind of just rapping. A lot of songs in this album, he's like screaming too much. Like he rushed it, or yeah, just screaming too much. I didn't see a lot of that cooking in the lab together sort of thing. Like, let's get together, just cook in the lab, like, like a crew again, right? Some of those hits are, I feel like he was a celebrity, so he invited a lot of people. He invited a lot of people that were more underground, right? Some guy named Dottie, some other cat. Like he didn't really have a lot of major celebrities on his album. He did have SZA, I guess, for vocals. He didn't really have these big time artists, like these mainstream artists. He just didn't. And again, I don't know if that was strategic. I don't know if that was his ear to the streets, right? So it just sounded like he was screaming a lot. Like, I don't know. I just even Gloria had like the last song that we talked about as Woman. A couple of bars were like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like, it's like insight to his life, which makes it original and genuine when it's like a bar that's like, oh shit, only he could have wrote that because that's something he went through, right? And those are the special bars in all songs that seem to stand out. Certain bars like that, right? But even then, some parts in Gloria wasn't. I didn't really. It's not like, oh my god, like it's not like that Cardi B song. What is she? She had that song that some other dude ended up writing it for her later on. We kind of found out. She wrote it about Offset when he was cheating on her. Like that kind of song, like that was, to me, that was one of her best songs. Although like red bottoms, these are bloody shoes. That was like the major hit. That was like a street anthem, club anthem. Had a lot of so Gloria, Whack Down Murals. The one that was also, I felt maybe probably the best one was Man at the Garden. Because, you know, Nickerson Gardens, he grew up around there. That was probably like, you know, has family ties there, right? And he was like talking to them, letting them know like, I deserve this. Like, because, you know, I'm sure he feels the heat, feels judgment, feels talked down on. Maybe it's an insecurity thing he has. So Men at the Garden, he's talking about people at the Nickerson Gardens, not necessarily just the gangbangers, just men, probably his peers that grew up there that maybe avoided the gang life, but, you know, still strong men coming from a place you have to be strong coming from there, you know. And so Men at the Garden was like, I could see what he's doing. He's talking to them, and like, I deserve this shit, you know, like I worked for it, you know. So I felt that was like kind of a vulnerable thing to do. So that was probably one of the best ones. The one with SZA, I think it's called Luther. That just sounded good. It sounded, SZA has an amazing voice. I love SZA. She has an amazing voice, and just like the lyrics and the vocals, it was, I don't know if it was a pop song, sort of R&B rap, kind of the new age sort of R&B and rap. I like that one. Again, a lot of his songs, like the one with, I don't know, just his voice sometimes is just, I don't know, just screams a lot. I feel like just, I don't know, I just don't like it. It reminds me when I make a song sometimes and I feel like I'm screaming too much, and I'm just like, that shit doesn't sound hungry, doesn't sound like no emotion, it just sounds like, I don't know, it just kind of like nails on a chalkboard to me. And so, but again, that just comes with making a lot of songs. Sometimes it's just not the day. Sometimes and to be honest, maybe sometimes you're just too happy to make a fucking song. The best songs are the ones where you might be melancholy, a low tone, say minimal words, and it's like you're really feeling it at that moment. And I mean, dude's fucking rich, so I don't know, it's just kind of like, yeah, like it's like J. Cole now is kind of annoying too. It's like one song he's making a sexual song, another song he's trying to be fucking, like the hypocrisy is kind of annoying. But it's also part of life too, right? Even Nietzsche's this philosopher. I just read a book that he influenced the Nazis because he was more on like, I want to do a deep video about it. Well, actually, I'm going to. I just finished reading the book, so I'm going to talk about that. But it's like, as you keep writing, you change, right? So something you believe when you were 20 is going to be different than when you're 40. So when people study you, they have to kind of know that context, because if not, they're going to... But hip-hop's different. One week I want to feel like sexual song. But it's also like, J. Cole, you're 40 and you're still like... I don't know, just like, I realize people, they don't have to admit to your life, but like, yeah, man, I know I probably shouldn't be making this kind of music. I'm 40. Maybe should be more like conscious or whatever, or just stop making music, because really it's like, maybe I should just go on like a tour where I just speak and like, to do some preventative work, right? To prevent young kids going down a certain path, or maybe encourage them to like respect women, go search out, go on dates, know yourself, know what kind of situations you can handle and you can't, or have respect for women, be honest with them, be fully communicative, be honest, like tell them like, I don't want to be with you, I don't like to hang out with you, this is nothing, we're just casual. If you want, of course I want to have sex with you, and if you let me have sex with you, then I'm gonna have sex with you. But again, if you fall for me, again, this is just casual for me. I don't want to be with you, And so I hope you respect that. And then you give her the choice, right? Choice. Like, young man, you make a mistake, dude. You're arrogant, you're vain, you think, she wants me, she wants to fuck me. She probably likes you. If she likes you, then you get her in a situation and you kind of aggressive fucking her. Later on, she's gonna go talk to somebody and tell me how much of a dick you were, how much you used her, and how much it was like kind of bad. Well, she felt a little nervous and tell you no. And then so young ladies also have to know, well, don't put yourself in that situation. But sometimes we don't know. Oh, maybe he just wants to cuddle. And you also got to stop. We live in this world. It's like And I have a okay, fuck. And I have a hard time understand. I'm gonna finish this thought. I have a hard time knowing if is it built into us. Is it built into young ladies and women to want to respect themselves enough, where it's like that a built-in value and ethical morality and that sense of self-worth of not having a lot of men under your belt, not being seen with a lot of men, caring about the way people look at you and perceive you. So we have that, but then they're also caught up in this culture of being cool, being loose, and seeing these women just like these men who are violent and womenizing and, you know, are getting, it's kind of like they're being weaponized against the society when you're rewarding that behavior. And you see these young ladies who are acting like sluts being rewarded for that behavior. And so all these young ladies are like, I don't know what to do. My parents want me to be good, and I kind of want to be good. And so they're like battling within themselves and what they find important. And so it's funny how hip hop brought me to that idea. So it's important that I speak about this. And so again, there's another. So let me come back. Is Drake better than Kendrick? They're different. They're different. Everybody's been knowing they don't like each other. And for what reason? Don't really know. I want to say it's more on Kendrick's side that he doesn't like Drake. Drake's never seemed like a hater. And not that Kendrick has, but being from LA and Kendrick's from LA, and knowing kind of how people are out here, just because kind of how we're born, what we're around, what we've been influenced by, where we're born, I find it more, we're very competitive over here. We're very competitive. It's just America in general. We're very competitive. We're very competitive and we're very petty. We don't have fathers in our lives. Not good ones, at least. Not ones that, like, you know how to speak to us, know how to, like, be around. And, I mean, Drake didn't have that either, but you know, I feel like Drake had a more happier upbringing. So he's like a happy-go-lucky kind of cat, you know. Like, I've seen him in the studio on YouTube where he's like making these songs that are like hip-hop-ish or even singing, and he just like the way he talks to his producers and the people in the studio is just like very like business-like, not like business, but just like separates what I'm saying. Right, this is literally just all music. I'm literally, this is an art I'm creating. This is not necessarily who I am entirely. I think what we do over here in LA, I think we just take on too much of like, this is who I am inside the studio and outside the studio. Because the whole idea, you have to be real, you have to be exactly what you say. And I guess there is like you have to be willing to die for what you say. Because I mean, you're going to be a phony, you're going to make a fucking horny song and make people fuck and cheat on each other and ruin lives and not really be like that. You know what I mean? So I see that, but then it's like, that's why a lot of groups don't really work out, because they can't separate what they say in the studio. But hey, bro, let's consider this to be therapeutic. You know, I was in a rap group before, and sometimes we'll write bars like, and I was insecure myself. I don't know if they were, but I'd be like, did you write that bar about me? You know what I mean? Like, maybe there was some sort of Freudian slip or some universal truth that could pertain to you as an individual, but doesn't mean like, nah, bro, I just used the ethos. But see, I wasn't smart as a young man. I don't know how to communicate. To be like, hey, bro, like, you know, like, we're friends, remember? Like, and part of it is my upbringing, part of it is just a paranoia, part of it is just, like I said, my behavior, part of it is like my competitive nature, my insecurity, my jealousy, my low self-esteem. And so, again, that could also play a part of why maybe Drake was able to be successful and make all these good songs, because he had a more comfortable, I guess you could say, habitat or environment. Maybe he was more equipped to have better relationships with people, right? Maybe he was able to like separate. I mean, look at him. He dissed him and Meek Mill. They were still able to make a song together. You know, and also, so I think there was always a sort of I could see maybe like Drake being more open to working with Kendrick than Kendrick being open to working with Drake. Again, I think it's just some simple as that. I think it's competitive. I think it's just, I don't know, someone feeling like kind of upset if someone else is kind of more successful and them not being able to take that like second role, or but again, this is just speculation. But again, they're different artists, but once one like disses another or they diss each other, they open it up to comparison, right? And so it allows people like me and the world to use my God-given fucking opinion and voice, or just my natural. Maybe it's not God-given, but I was born with a brain and some sound that comes out, and that could be put into representation of how I feel, what I think, maybe my subjective opinion and objective truth, and so Drake, if we're gonna compare, we got to compare production numbers. Dude, Drake, that's what made him so an anomaly when he came out. He could rap and sing. Who the fuck ever did that? Who the fuck could ever sing and rap? And I was talking to this dude, actually, he's like part of the, he works at the school. He's not a teacher or nothing. He works in one of these offices, one of these programs. Cool cat. He's a black man. I tell him, bro, Drake or Kendrick? He's like, Kendrick, like right away, Kendrick. And he's educated. He's a smart dude. I'm like, Kendrick, are you serious, dude? Like, and again, I'm going off of truth. And so it's like data, numbers, but when it's music, it's subjective. It's just what you prefer. But then when you get deeper, it's like, oh, this is why you prefer it. Oh, this is your premise. Oh, this is your premise. Oh, this is your premise. Oh, so that's how you came up with this claim. That's deductive reasoning. Syllogisms, one or two evidences to support your claim, right? And it'll kind of tell me whether your claim is kind of rational or not, or logical or reasonable. And so again, between 2010, I think it was later, like 2015. 2010 is like 15 years ago. I don't know, there was a point where Drake, any fucking song he put out was a hit. He was hot in LA. Like, you didn't even hear about Kendrick. He made like a little bit, right? He was making like maybe an album with like not really. It was like little gaps of Kendrick, but there was all Drake just in LA, having parties in LA. He was with YG, came with More Life, Views. I mean, this was after Take Care, and he was just, anything he touched was turning to fucking platinum. He was hot. He was making Jamaican music. He was just on fire. So Drake is like Marvin Gaye, bro. Like, Drake can sing, so he's gonna continue. Like, is Kendrick Lamar gonna make raps at 40 and 50? I don't know. I think Kendrick could still be on the charts, making a fucking singing song later on. And I just think when it comes to numbers, Drake is not even just numbers, the art. Literally just saw art. Okay, back to this guy I was talking to. I see how they call it the weave. That's what Trump says, the weave. You bring it back together. So I was talking to this gentleman over here, and how's my thought? Fuck, what was I gonna say? So what was that thought again? Okay, so he's like, oh, they write Drake's music. I was like, dude, I just seen him in the studio. He was even with one of his guys. I think he was like either the producer or the sound mixer, and then they smoked a lot of weed in the studio, and like 40 Khabib or 40 Shabib, and fucking a lot of his friends smoked weed, and a lot of his friends you would see later on in his career. But it was like he was in the studio with the famous BlackBerry, and he was writing his verse to that song with the Who Do You Love with him and YG. And he's like, literally, as the beat's playing, he's with his buddy, he's writing down the verse, and he like spits it in front of his homie smoking it. Like, it's like, he's a good guy though. When I say homie, he's not some gangster guy smoking weed, just like a normal dude smoking bud. Probably his process of making music. And he's like writing his verse in front of him. So I told the guy, what? There's YouTube videos of Drake writing his verse in the studio. I told him, like, you think that's fake? He's like, bro, what? What do you mean if it's like, he like assumed it was just fake? I'm like, all right, and you guys should go check him out on YouTube. But even if it's fake, right? Even if it's fake, or even if he doesn't write his lyrics, he doesn't even write any music, right? He just like, how can you even know how to rap? And how could you even know how to sing or like sound good? Like try to sing some of Drake songs. Like literally try to sing and try to sound decent. It's one of those things where only that person is that person, right? Only that person could do it like that. Like that's who they are. Whether they began from this point and they got here from the point you are hearing that end result, and everything in between. And everything in between. And that's just who they are. So the point is, in art, you have to just do what you do. You have to know your strengths. You have to just do it with little thought, with as little as restrictive thought as possible. Obviously, you have to think about what you want to say and let it come out, and maybe have an idea that the world is going to use me as a vessel to relay a message to people. And I'm going to use my experiences to be as genuine as possible. And also, see, going back to that idea about Drake, he was secure enough to ask people, like, you think that sounds good? Or, like, actually share his music. Like you think that sound, like, if you go back to Tupac, some stories like, oh, yeah, Tupac, during, like, the movie set, whenever it was a break, he would share raps with the other rapper. And he would always, like, share with each other and, like, be confident within himself to, like, just be a normal human. A lot of us are just too fucking self-centered, but because we're hurt, we're damaged, we want to protect ourselves, and we're so sensitive. We want people to say we suck or we're not good, or if they do, we're gonna shut down and want to give up. Like I have that issue, and a lot of that was probably the reason why an artist like that can just, again, it's probably his mother giving him a space when he was young. I mean, we see old videos where he had like the basement where he was in his room, he had a mic, a bunch of CDs. He was like a student of the game, because his folks gave him an area to be himself, to do art, because art is an actual thing where you can live off of and make money. We fucking are on these people who don't even fucking encourage their children to do art are on their phone watching other people do art and living and thriving. Art as in watching a football game. That's an artist. If he's good at something, he's an artist. He's showing the world how good he is. Or she, Caitlin Clark, she's an artist on the basketball court, and look at how good she's gotten. Because there was something there, like there's a path here for people. And when it's so much competition, there's only like room for 5. You know what that means? That there's only 5 that really believe in themselves. You understand? And but they love it so much that nothing's gonna stop them. They're like, I love this. I love this. I love and breathe it. It's like someone who reads, you're gonna see a book in their hand. Someone who paints, you're gonna see paint on their hands. Someone who works on cars are gonna have greasy fucking hands, dude. You're gonna look at somebody, okay, oh, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at a ballerina, she has fucked up feet. It's like you go look at somebody and see who they are. So I don't know. Again, just off sheer numbers, obviously Drake is just way far beyond Kendrick. Right now, I think they're both at the point where they have to like maybe reinvent themselves, be more creative, and like try to do something new, because everybody's kind of like already caught onto their style. When you diss somebody, it's easy, right? When you're dissing somebody, it's like, it's just, no one really cares about the style. It's about what you actually say when you're dissing somebody. When you're just making a song that's like universal, like a love song or like a party song, it's kind of like, if you want to hear the sound of the tone or the beat, and also like what's the actual general theme of the song, right? When you're dissing somebody, it's just bar to bar, and it's kind of easy. It's not that difficult. Yeah. Anyway,